Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys are all okay out there and that you're staying safe. I managed to plan this live stream a little bit more than usual earlier, so I made this thing that pops up and is purple just to let you know who I am, as if you don't know already. But a massive hello to everybody in the chat room already. Let me get you guys up on screen because we have Barbara and Jen and Ken and Lucy and Laurie and Linda and Kevin and Lisa again and Laura. And by the way, just when I'm saying about Lisa, it is Lisa's birthday today, and I've heard that on the grapevine. My secret agents have been out there, so everybody say a happy birthday to Lisa in the chat room tonight. I hope you have a great day, and I'm sure everyone else wishes you well in the live chat room. So as we progress through this live stream, we're going to have the names of my patrons going along the bottom of the screen as always, and a massive thank you for your support. You know who you are, but let's get these guys' names on screen here. And if you want to get involved yourself over on Patreon, you can do. It's the reason that I can release a new video every single night, and also just keep everything up and running with these live streams as well, because they used to be a little bit hit and miss, but fortunately, fingers crossed, now when they don't work, it's purely because of an internet thing and not my own hardware and software that I use. So a massive thank you to you guys for allowing me to do these live streams so consistently, but also just the ongoing support to release a new video every single day with the analysis videos as well. So thank you guys, you know who you are, and as I always say, they do pop up in the super chat window. And without further ado, let's get the super chat window up on screen, because we have had a couple of donations already, and Sandy has donated $5. Thank you for that, Sandy. The message is, have you been watching any of the performances that musicians have been doing from their homes during the pandemic? And I've seen a little bit of Brian May. He's been doing some videos where he's posted them on his Instagram, and then people around the world just jam along with him. And I've also seen his release that he was going to release on Instagram, but unfortunately it was their version of We Are the Champions, but You Are the Champions for our NHS. And even Brian May struggled with copyrights on that with his own song on Instagram. It got blocked. So fortunately, they did manage to release that on YouTube, on the official Queen channel. But it starts to make you think about the whole copyright thing when the actual person who wrote the song, was in the band and did it all, can't release it because of copyrights. But anyway, I've seen some of Brian May's stuff, and I'm trying to think, there's been lots and lots of different videos, and classical singers standing on their balconies singing. So there's been lots of really cool videos. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to check out lots of videos because I've had a lot more emails and messages, because obviously people are at home now, so they're in front of the computer, and it's great that they're watching the channel and commenting. It just means that my percentages have really gone up with the views and the comments and the emails and all of the suggestions that I get all over the internet. So yeah, I have been really busy recently, but it's great to just touch base with you guys in these live streams and have a little bit of a break from answering the emails and everything else that I do get. So it's a welcome relief, these live streams. And just before we go on as well, I want to say a massive hello to the moderators in the live chat room, because they do such a great job just mentioning the amount of people that have been watching the channel and the amount of new subscribers that have arrived. And also, if you are watching for the first time tonight, hello, and thank you for joining me and us in the live chat room. And with these extra numbers, there are always going to be trolls that do get involved. And I had a really interesting, probably the wrong word, but one that really did raise the bar today. So I might mention that later in the live stream, because it was just on a whole new level of trolling, but we might get into that later. But thank you so much, Sandy, for that donation. And we have had 2 more since then. So Danny has donated $5. Thank you so much for that. The message is, cheers, Phil. I'm fortunate these streams are not at midnight here in Minnesota time. I'd never be able to be awake at my age. Love your analysis. So thank you, Danny, for that. And hopefully you can stay awake, and it's great. It's a good time for you as well. I'm a bit of a night person, so I do stay up very late. Very late, and very light in the morning when the sun comes out and I'm still awake. But it's something that, yeah, I've been doing this for ages, staying up really late doing music things, so just live streaming at this time seems to be the most convenient for a lot of people. So it's just great for everybody this time, and it's great that it's good for you as well, Danny. So we have had another donation, and this is Deborah, who has donated $10. Thank you for that, Deborah, and it's a straight up donation without any message on that. Thank you for that. And we have Deb in the house, who has donated $10. This is Poet's Dreams, and the message is, I want to thank you, Phil, for all the work you put in each analysis videos and your live streams. I appreciate you. So thank you for that, Deb, and I appreciate you and everybody else that joins me on these live streams and in the comment section of the analysis videos as well, because there are so many comments every single night and when I get up in the morning, and everybody just getting involved, which is great to see. And there is something that I want to bring up on screen, but I'm not sure whether it's going to obliterate everything else, because I have mentioned about these guidelines for the live chat room just in general, because it's going to be more difficult to keep things in line, especially for the moderators with so many people. But we're a great community in the live chat room, so we hopefully are going to not make it too difficult for the moderators. But if somebody does pop in and isn't sure of the guidelines, those are available over on my website, and I did make something that comes up on the screen. I might have to get rid of the super chat and pop this up there. There you go. It's not very fancy at all, but that's what I made earlier. So the live stream community guidelines are available at wingsofpegasus.com, and then when you're on the site, just go to the header. You'll see that there's lots of tabs at the top, and you want to go for the live stream tab, and then the guidelines are there just in case you guys need any guidelines or you're confused as to what you can post and what you can't post on these live chat rooms. But the moderators do such a great job. I'm sure that if people start posting inappropriate things, then the moderators will just give them a notification. Also, on that page, there is a link to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. So from that same page on my website, you can click on an image, and that will take you straight through to the Facebook group if you want to join that and continue the conversation after these live streams, because Vince hosts the after party over there, and Laura is also in charge of all that, so she'll allow you through to that group. So we have had a little bit more action in the super chat window. Thank you guys so much for this. And Marge is in there. Hello, Marge, and has donated $2. Thank you for that. And it is a straight up donation. And the last one has been cut off, so I'm going to have to look over here. And Thomas has donated $5. So thank you so much for that, Thomas. And let me just click on this to see if there is a message. It's just a straight up donation. So thank you for that. Right, let me try and clean up the screen a little bit and also get the super chat back so we can see those lovely names popping up there and some lovely names on the right hand side as well. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight, and I've just remembered to say, if you can hit that thumbs up, it would be massively appreciated. We tried to get to 200 likes on these live streams, and we did it last time amazingly, really quickly as well. So thank you guys so much for hitting that thumbs up, and if you can hit that thumbs up again, it helps the channel to grow and for these live streams to get out there as well. Also, let's have an early plug of the mug. Here it is. You can get a hold of this mug. It's in the tray underneath this video if you want to click on that and get a Spike the Likes mug. And whenever I lift that up, for some reason the camera has a bit of a focus attack and doesn't know what to do. But that, hopefully you could see, it was the mug that's in the tray underneath. And you can get yourself a t-shirt. And while I mentioned t-shirts, this is all leading on very nicely, even though I haven't planned it. We do have a couple of pictures that I've stolen from that Facebook group that we're going to be looking at later, a couple of t-shirts being modeled, and also there is another mug that has been posted over there, so we'll be looking at another mug shot as well. So let's get into the first video of the night, and just before we do, let me just mention as well that TeacherMan1955 has donated $10. Thank you so much for that, and the message is, "Hi Phil, I've had plenty of times breaking down after a gig at 3 a.m. to a fellow night owl rock with some rock horns 2 times over." So I think this is where, for me, it all started. Just gigging and taking so long to pack everything up. And by the time you do get home, it's 3 or 4 in the morning. And your body clock just starts getting used to that. And then when you want to go to bed earlier, you'll go to bed at about 1 a.m. and you'll be sitting up for 2 or 3 hours because you're not tired yet. So I think just I go to bed whenever I start to feel tired, which is starting to get later and later, but hopefully things will be more organized and I can rearrange my time a little bit better than I do at the moment, but we will see what happens. Thank you, Teacher Man, so much for that donation. Let's jump into this first video of the night, and it is going to be Unwanted Stranger. This was requested by Laurie over on Patreon. And another thing just to mention, that the cover video for tonight is split down the middle between 2 videos, and the first one's Parisian Walkways and the other one is Layer on the Line. I think those were the 2 that were tied. So in the live chat room, if anybody wants to particularly hear one of those more than the other, let me know and write it during this song so that I can see it, because I'm in the chat room while the videos are playing, and I'll make a little note and we'll see which cover we will play tonight. But I'll see you guys after this. Rock!
Told me something about you that I didn't want to know. You looked me right in the eye and then you placed your head on my shoulder. This position that you put me in, you're on a mission to take my world from around me. Wide awake.
And there we have it. That was my song called Unwanted Stranger. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I've been looking in the live chat room and it looks like it's really tight between Parisian Walkways and Lay It on the Line, or Lay It on the Lay, or Lay It on the Like, which I think are the three titles that's been given by Kevin tonight over on Patreon and in the live chat room tonight. But it's really close between those two. I think maybe Lay It on the Line is the one that's going to be just nicking it. I'm not sure. It's really tight, but we will see. Maybe if we get an influx of Parisian Walkways requests, then it'll be really even and I'll just have to flip a coin or something to see what we listen to. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight. We have had a little bit more action in the super chat window and Kevin is in there as well. But before that, Carla has donated $4.99. Thank you for that, Carla. And Kevin has donated $2. And speak of the devil, Kevin is in the super chat window and the message is, Phil, do you have a favourite gig with some rock horns? So, wow, there's a lot to think about, but probably really early on, maybe when I was 23, something like that, we had a showcase gig at a venue called The Grand in London, which is quite a grand venue. And after that, we had a bit of interest from a record label, and that was all really fun and exciting. It's only then when you grow up and you realise what the music industry is really like that you realise actually we managed to dodge a bullet there. So at the time it was very exciting, so that was a good gig. Also, maybe playing the sister venue of the O2 in London, that was a cool gig. That was the final of an unsigned competition for the whole of the UK, so something like 10,000 bands entered that, and I think it was maybe around an 8-month competition, so you're gigging for about 8 months. And each band, because there were so many bands that entered, like 10,000 bands, it's just a crazy number for the whole of the UK. Just every gig, you lost a band or two bands, and then the bands that were voted through continue on. And it was a really long process, but that ended up at the end of the 2 months of playing a really cool venue. And that was really good as well, because then after that, because we finished third out of 10,000, which was pretty good, especially for hard rock music. So we then went on a UK tour, and we got to go on a tour bus and everything, and we slept on that, and that was all good fun. So this was me and the guys when we were gigging, playing in and around London, and I'm sure you guys already know the story, but then once we'd finished that, all the venues in London and pretty much everywhere for original music is pay to play. So that was all great, and we toured, but then we couldn't afford to gig anymore because we had to pay up front for the tickets and then sell the tickets, and we couldn't pay the petrol, and the bassist and the drummer, who were living in London as well, just crazy rent that they had to pay, had to give it up. And then further down the line, my second guitarist had to give it up as well. So then I just continued on with my Wings of Pegasus project on the internet, and that's where this all came about. And it's quite a few years ago now, but it's all part of the story. But those were certainly gigs quite a while ago now, but the two that stand out just thinking about it off the top of my head. But thank you so much for that donation, Kevin. And also we've had a few more donations, and Hans has donated $2 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, okay, did James Hetfield damage his voice? And not that I know of. It might be something that I, like I said, haven't been watching a lot of TubeU. That's a new site. YouTube. This is a new one on the live stream. Sometimes it's just the first letter that jumps. This time it's actually the word that's been rearranged. So on YouTube I haven't seen anything yet. Maybe it's something that's going around from a recent performance, but like I said, I haven't seen many videos on YouTube recently because I've been doing so many answering of emails and stuff. But thank you, Hans, for that. And maybe that can be a sister site that somebody sets up and tries to make lots of money from. Carl is in the house as well and has donated $10. Thank you for that, Carl. The message is, we all know what this is going to be. Okay, here's the usual cross the pond donation plus a little extra for towards dinner delivery tip. Stay healthy all. So thank you for that, Carl. And I think maybe I have to go a bit easy on the pizzas because it is so easy now just being isolated. You think, oh, what shall I have for dinner? And pizza is always something that's at the forefront of my mind, so I'm going to have to try and resist that. But thank you, Carl, so much for that donation. And Lisa is in the house, the birthday girl. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us tonight, and she has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, if you have time to watch TV, what is your favourite show? And I haven't actually watched TV in ages, but the last series that I did watch, which was probably a couple of months ago now, is a show we have here in the UK called Hunted, where people have to go on the run from these special people, or like, I guess special ops. It's not really like special ops, but people that try and trace criminals and terrorists, and they've got that kind of background. They trace and try to find and catch up with and catch members of the public. So it is a reality show, I guess, if that's the way to call it, about that. Just people trying to evade capture in the UK. And that's something that I do enjoy watching, and it's just interesting. It's very well done, that show. You might have that in the USA, I'm not sure. I think there have been some US versions of it because I do like it a lot, so I've checked out other series of it, and certainly 2 or 3 of those were from the USA. So I don't know if you're familiar with it, but that's the last series that I watched on TV. So thank you, Lisa, for that donation and for the question. And Lucy is in the house again tonight. Hello, Lucy, and thank you for the $14.99 donation. The message is for the Cross the Pond Fund, and since it's Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo, use some for Mexican food with some rock horns and a peace sign with a heart in the middle. So thank you for that, Lucy. And this is the thing, that the Cinco de Mayo being a Spanish thing, I'm trying to remember the pronunciation from my days at school because I did a bit of Spanish but can't remember any of it. So everybody have a great Cinco de Mayo. We would say Cinco here in the UK, but I'm pretty sure, hopefully I haven't got that incorrectly. Maybe I'm just mispronouncing that, so apologies. But have a great day. We don't celebrate that here, but hopefully you have a great day if you do celebrate that where you are. And thank you so much for the donation as well, Lucy. Glam Gal, that's Karen, has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, a virtual orange squash from me to you, from one musician to another. I truly appreciate all you do. Cheers, Karen, with a picture of a guitar. So thank you so much for that, Karen. And let's have a spike of the likes in the Wings of Pegasus mug that is filled with orange squash tonight. As always, pretty much, apart from, I think once I had some summer fruits in there. Very exciting stuff. So Orlando is in the house as well and has donated $2. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, do you live close to London? And yes, I do. It's probably on a fast track train. You can get to Paddington, if you know where that is, in London in 20 minutes. So it's pretty quick on the train. If you get on a really slow train, it's going to take anywhere between 45 and 52 minutes, depending on how many stops you do stop at. But I think the Crossrail is something that's going to be coming in with Maidenhead as well, which means that you can jump on a train and get to Tottenham Court Road. I don't know if you know these places, but Tottenham Court Road, that'll be in about 15 to 20 minutes, I believe. So that's more towards the centre of London, whereas I'm just outside West London. So it's pretty good because it means that I can jump into London if I want to, but then it's not really busy here in Maidenhead, unlike London, which is just crazy, just rammed full of people. And this is why, unfortunately, in the times that we live in at the moment with the coronavirus, it has spread so much because there are so many people in London. So this is where it's not really fair to compare us with other countries in Europe that aren't as packed as London is. And when they say, oh, there's been a peak in London and it's so much more than Sweden or something like that, and then you think, well, the whole of Sweden doesn't have the amount of people that are just in London. So yeah, this is something that we do get every day, these reports of our stats and the whole coronavirus update. So yeah, that's our thing that happens here every afternoon in the UK. But fingers crossed, things are going to continue to get better because they seem to be at the moment. So we will see. But thank you so much for that donation. Lynn is in the house as well. Hello, Lynn, and has donated $50. Thank you so much for that. The message is, my employer used to encourage us when we got too busy and overwhelmed by saying we were having success challenges. Congratulations on meeting your success challenges so graciously. So thank you for that, Lynn. And it might be something that I can use in the future. I'm having a success challenge. But thank you for that $50 donation. Kay is in the house as well and has donated $5. Thank you for that. And this is a guy dropping the mic. So thank you for that, Kay. And Carl has donated underneath that, and it's $5. Thank you for that. The message is, have really been enjoying your channel, Phil. Keep up the good work. I'm glad that you are doing your own thing in the music world. So thank you for that, and my pleasure. Thank you for joining me on the channel and for watching the videos and the analysis videos that have so many comments. Thank you everyone in the live chat room for joining me on the live streams, but for commenting underneath the analysis videos. So we are going to be moving on to, let's have a look at some pictures, because I did manage to steal these from the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, and you guys can join in with that if you want to. Just head over to Facebook after this live stream. And the only thing is that I'm going to have to try and find this because I didn't upload it into the software on the screen that I have on the left. And anybody who saw the screen, either the last stream or the one before where I showed you what I look at, you can see it's quite complicated. But fingers crossed, this is going to be Teresa who appears on screen, and there she is with the Spike the Likes mug right at the forefront. And let me mention, we've got a Wings of Pegasus t-shirt there as well, and I have that same t-shirt on. So a massive thank you to Teresa for uploading that over on Facebook, and here's the proof. And getting into the next one, hopefully this is Sandy. And there's Sandy with her Wings of Pegasus t-shirt on. So thank you, Sandy, for uploading that to Facebook. And maybe this is going to be third time lucky as well for Deborah. And there is Deborah with her Wings of Pegasus t-shirt. So thank you, Deborah, for uploading that to Facebook. Thank you all. And everybody who has uploaded previously, and I've shown the pictures of the mugs, you can also upload pictures of you wearing your t-shirts, and I'll also post those in the future. Anyone who does receive a mug, you can take your mug shot and I'll stick it on these live streams as well. So thank you everyone for getting involved over on Facebook. So we're going to be jumping into the next video, and I think it has just fallen on the side of Layer on the Line. And thank you everybody in the live chat room for letting me know which video you wanted to hear. So we will be jumping into this cover video, obviously my version of it. It's a hell of a song to take on, but hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys after. Rock. And there we have it. That was my cover of Layer on the Line, as requested by you guys in the live chat room. So thank you guys for that. I hope you enjoyed it. And yes, one of those songs that Rick's range is just crazy, so definitely it's my own version of it. So I'm going to get the super chat window up on screen because we've had a little bit of action in there, and the messages in there have been going off. So let me just scroll up to make sure that I didn't miss anybody in there. We had Carl, so thank you Carl for that, and then Ian, who has donated a crazy $131. Thank you so much for that, Ian. It is just so appreciated. Thank you. The message is, for getting to 131,000 subscribers. Good work, Mr. Phil. So thank you, Ian, and everybody in the super chat window for your donations during these live streams, because it really helps me to just keep everything moving forward, and whenever something goes wrong I can just sort it and then do the next live stream. And like I said, if it isn't an internet thing, pretty much fingers crossed I've got it covered. But thank you, Ian, for that. Linda has donated $5 as well. Again, thank you, Linda, for that. The message is, what was the most difficult guitar technique for you to learn, and how did you practice it to perfect it? So I'm not sure, probably vibrato, just as a technique that I think is so important playing the guitar, and so many people don't master it and can't express how they want to through the guitar. It just turns into a bit of an afterthought after they've spent a lot of time playing fast and working on particular techniques. And this is the thing, that trying to get the feel right with your vibrato is a whole animal in itself, because I have mentioned about how anybody can play fast, and a lot of people for some reason don't think that it's possible to play fast, but it is literally a case of sitting down, getting out your metronome and gradually speeding up, because if you spend long enough doing it, you will be able to play really fast. And the most difficult technique, I'd have to say, is probably vibrato, but I think the other one that I haven't really spent a lot of time on is sweep picking. I can do it to a point, obviously, because I have to teach people if they want to know how to do it, but in my own music I don't really use it because it's too fast for me to consciously think of. I like to play the guitar with a conscious stream of thought rather than just go through an arpeggio of a chord, because that's what sweep picking pretty much is, just taking through different chords and working through those, just arpeggiating all of them and sweeping through the strings. It's just too fast for me to be able to think of. So whenever I would maybe go into that, it's now subconscious and you're not thinking about what you're doing. It's just a set of muscle memory responses that you are setting off. So that is a technique that I got up to a particular level, and then I thought I'm going to be better suited spending my time on singing, on learning how to sing, rather than spending another 2 or 3 hours a day continuing to get my sweep picking even faster and even better. And I think as an artist, this is something that I've said before as well, that everyone has to make a decision about where they want to spend their time. If they want to be a really technically amazing guitarist who can play really fast, then you dedicate your time to that. If you want to play guitar and write music and sing and play other instruments, then you'll obviously need to start to redistribute the time you have every day for practice, because it is impossible to get everything up to an insane level of technical ability. There are some players who have managed to do that, where they get a couple of instruments, maybe 3, up to a really high level, and Sean Lane's one of those guys who was a fantastic piano player and keyboard player, award-winning, and then just shredded on the guitar as well. And he spent so much time doing those two things, but obviously then singing and writing lots of music and spending time on those kind of things, you have to really manage your time. And this is why when somebody says, oh, that person is the best musician or the best guitarist in the world, you've got to take that with a pinch of salt, because nobody can be the best. And also, when you're talking about guys like Prince, for example, who could cut a whole album himself in the studio, you can't really compare him to somebody who has only been playing guitar, because they've had all of that time to concentrate on guitar. And this is why you could argue that Prince, being as good as he was at the guitar, is more impressive because of all the other instruments that he played, being an original artist as well, and writing so many hits. So there's so many things that you can start to judge, and this is why you can never say that one person is the best and one guy's better than another guy, because it's just impossible to say that with art. But anyway, long answer to that question. Thank you, Linda, for that. And Kevin has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Kevin. The message is, thanks for playing my request of Triumph's new song, Lay It on the Like. Laugh out loud. Have you ever had tacos? And some rock horns after that as well. And another donation has just gone through as well. So Kevin, thank you for that. To answer that question, I have had, I think, but only once or twice, and I think maybe I didn't have them properly. It was just filled with chicken. I think that's what it was. But anyway, not enough to really know if I had them or not, because what I had was a soft kind of bread and the chicken was inside that. Maybe that's it, or I'm not sure whether tacos are crispy. I don't know, but maybe I've had them in the past, maybe I haven't. But thank you, Kevin, for that donation. Reb is in the house as well and has donated $10. Thank you for that. The message is, do you still have your Whitesnake shirt? If so, here's some incentive to slide it in right to the top of the t-shirt stack with a laughing face. Even so, it should help with the hard drive fund. So thank you for that, Reb. And yes, I do have it somewhere. I think the problem is that once I go through a spell of buying shirts, I've got so many shirts that they then only get worn the top 7. So I'll have to try and find my Whitesnake shirts. But yes, I mean, that one, I have Love Hunter as well, and Love Hunter is probably not appropriate to be live streaming with, if you know what that looks like on the front of that particular shirt that I might have worn before. I'm not sure whether I've worn it a lot, but thank you, Reb, so much for that. And Harlot has donated $4.99. Thank you, Harlot. The message is, hi Phil, you should look into YouTube memberships for your channel. It would be another avenue of monthly financial support in addition to Patreon. So with that on YouTube, the YouTube memberships are for channels that don't have copyright content on there, because I do analysis videos and I play a lot of videos that then the revenue goes to the copyright holder for the video that I've done featuring whichever artist or song it is. So there will be adverts on videos that are going to the publishing company that deal with those copyrights. So with the YouTube memberships, if I'm starting to make a side income from other people's material, because that is what I'm featuring in my videos, it doesn't work that way with the YouTube memberships. So it's not something that I can do on my channel, but I don't mind that because it's just fine for me if the money goes to the copyright owners and the holders. I don't really have a problem with that. I just am aiming to maybe educate and show people what particular singers and players are doing and how they perform as a band sometimes, if it is a band, but also maybe add a little bit of insight to vocal techniques and techniques on the fretboard as well. So yeah, it isn't something that I can do on this channel, but thank you so much for that donation and for the suggestion as well. Something that I can do over on Patreon is support the channel that way. So if you want to get involved over on Patreon, you can do. It's patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. The other thing quickly to mention about Patreon is that over there, I link to every video that I have on YouTube. So I think a few people have made the mistake on Patreon before by uploading individual versions of their YouTube videos to then have on Patreon. And when you do that, that is now another replication of your video that isn't copied. It isn't covered by the copyrights of YouTube and the publishing companies that deal with those on YouTube and the record labels. So once you start not linking to YouTube, that's where it gets a bit dodgy on Patreon. So I think a few people who have set up accounts over there are starting to struggle a bit with those copyrights, and they're getting really put under the spotlight because of what they're doing over there. So that's another tip. If you are on Patreon yourself and you are a creator of any sort, just make sure everything is hosted on YouTube, because then it's just one case of a video, and what people are watching on Patreon is actually on YouTube. That's where the video is being shown. So just for anybody confused about that, over on Patreon. But like I said, if you want to pop over there, you can do, and support the channel that way so that everything can keep on going. But you guys support me so much over there. Thank you, everybody. The names at the bottom of the screen, these are the people that make it all possible, as well as you guys in the super chat window that pop in there as well. So we are going to be getting into the next video, and this is going to be my live version of Art Not Commerce. This was requested over on Patreon again, and this was Lynn who did ask for this one. So this one is for Lynn. Just before I get into that, Ray is in the house, and Carla has donated, and Liz, I'm going to have to scroll up. Thank you guys so much. This is what happens when I blabble on. And let's mention Orlando as well, who has donated $5. And the message is, Cliff Richard has been brought up in the super chat. Will you do a video analysis on one of his live performances? So Cliff is already here. The problem with Cliff is that the footage gets blocked on copyright, so I couldn't show any of Cliff, which was a shame, but I did re-upload the video without the Cliff Richard section in there with his live performance. So he is already here as far as I can get with it. It just so happens that it got blocked on copyright, so I've just done my best to have Cliff represented on the channel by uploading without that performance that he was doing that I was looking at. But that will be there. And Liz has donated $10. Thank you so much for that. The message is just the Superman running, flying through the air, and not running at all unless he's just run and done a massive jump. So thank you for that $10 donation, Liz. And Carla has donated $1.99, and the message is Glam Girl donation missed. So let me have a little scroll up to have a look for Karen, and there's a donation from Karen that I did read out. I said, hi Phil, a virtual orange squash from me to you, from one musician to another. I truly appreciate all you do with the guitar, and cheers, Karen. So if it is that one, I think I did see that. Maybe there's another one that I have missed, but I'm going to scroll up and I'll scroll down just to double check that there's not another one in here from Karen. That's the only one I've got showing up. So if there was another one that didn't go through, then I apologize for that. But thank you, Carla, for drawing my attention to one that might have got lost somewhere along the line. So Ray has donated $50. Thank you so much for that, Ray. And the message is, I decided to risk following your first lesson. Don't tell my piano teacher or band members. By the way, when will my fingertips stop hurting? Wink, wink. So thank you for the donation, Ray. And for people that don't know what I'm talking about or Ray's talking about, I have 4 lessons over on the Patreon page that I did for anyone starting to play the guitar, just taking you through all the basics and all the basic chords, also power chords and bar chords and strumming with the right hand, all of the techniques involved with that. So that is something that's available over on Patreon. It's not just supporting the channel, there's lots of other stuff over there. But Ray has been trying this and says that her fingers are hurting. It is something that you will find just across the board. Anybody that's starting to play, I would say that make sure that your string gauge is low. And when I'm talking about that, if you're on electric guitar, you can go as low as 8s on the high E string. So just type that into Amazon and you'll find some strings that are lighter, because obviously the lighter the strings, the less your fingers will hurt. Take regular breaks, but generally what I find with my teaching is people come in and they've bought a guitar and they haven't changed the strings that the guitar already had on it when they bought it at the shop. So it means that when you go to a shop, they put on strings that are going to last for a very, very long time, because they don't know how long that guitar is going to be hung on that wall for. So they'll stick some 10s, 11s, maybe 12s on there, which are really heavy. And if you're just starting to play and you've got soft fingers, those are going to kill your fingertips. So make sure that if you have got an acoustic guitar, go for a pack of 10s, and this is the gauge of the high E string, just a 10 gauge. You'll type it in, it will be fine. Don't worry about what they all refer to, because you do have different numbers relating to the different strings. The thicker the string is, the higher the number. But anyway, the top string for acoustic to begin with, you want to have just a 10 on that. And for electric guitar, if you want to go really light, have an 8 on your high E string. And that's what you want to go for to minimize the pain of your fingers, just to give yourself a bit of a chance. But also, if you are playing for multiple hours a day, just try and take regular breaks, because eventually your fingers will start to harden up. Obviously, it depends how much you play, but after a week, maybe, if you are really going for it, it might be quicker than that, but give your fingers a bit of a chance by having some lighter strings on your guitars. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation, Ray. Now, we are going to be jumping into this next video, and it is, like I said, my live version of Art Not Commerce, and this was Lynn that requested this. So we're going to jump into this, and I'll see you guys after. Rock!
Telling me what's right, but I will make my own way.
And there we have it. That was my song called Art Not Commerce, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. So I'm going to mention tonight again about spiking the likes. This is something that I rarely do on the live streams. Remember to ask people to hit that thumbs up button, but if you could, it would be massively appreciated. Let's get the mug out again, because we always try to get to 200 likes on these live streams, and we will see where we end up. It is 5 to 1 in the morning here already, so things really have moved along. And while that video was playing, we actually had a bit of action in the super chat window. But before I get to that, I'll bring it up on screen. But before I get to that, there was a great example of the moderators in action. And I could see it because I'm in the live chat room while the videos are playing. And over on wingsofpegasus.com and go to the live stream section of the site, you will see the guidelines there. And I'm not sure of the username, but the person kept on posting just holding on the keyboard, which is just lots of letters in a row, and the moderators would have obviously said something about that, and if it keeps on happening, then the comments are removed. And it's a great example of somebody who isn't messaging or doing anything in the live chat room that is community based. And when I say about the community, it's normal human interaction of saying hello, how are you, what have you been up to, and commenting on music or commenting on videos. Just the normal kind of interaction. So that was a really good example, because there were at least 5 or 6 that I saw that were just holding on the keyboard and pressing enter, holding on the keyboard and pressing enter. As you can imagine, the reason that kind of thing gets removed, because if everybody did that, the people that do actually want to have a conversation and interact with each other won't be able to, because it'll be constantly flipping through the screen of just meaningless messages. So great job there by the moderators. Everybody say a big thank you to them for keeping everything under control in the live chat room, because that was a great example of that. And just while I'm talking about that, to bring up this troll that I had today, and I did make a note of her name, and it was Wendy Starita, which was a troll that really upped the level, because she commented on one of the analysis videos and really went to town, and at one point compared me to Hitler. And I've never had that before. That really is upping the level. With the videos that I do, she was specifically talking about the analysis videos. So she's making that comparison when I'm breaking down guitar techniques and talking about a person singing. And she made 4 comments, so after the 4th one I gave up, because I think some people you just can't do anything with. I was trying to explain that these videos are requested and that I'm a professional musician. I've been teaching guitar for a very long time, and also other people have backed the channel who are professional musicians, and I'm not going to go through all the names, but I said that once those kind of people are watching and liking the channel, that gives you a good vibe as to whether the channel's credible or not, and whether what I'm saying is true or lies. And she just didn't really take any of that in. So unfortunately, that was just a troll that really went for it today. And more often than not, the trolls just leave one message and then that's it. But then getting to that stage of making that comparison is just absolutely outrageous and crazy to be saying that kind of thing about anyone, let alone just me doing analysis videos that are requested on YouTube. So yeah, a bit weird that one. But anyway, that was Wendy, and I think she's still got a message that will be on the Carry On Wayward Son video cover that I did, and hers will be the most recent one. And as with all of the trolls, you go onto her YouTube and there's 0 subscribers and no videos, so obviously much too much time on her hands to spend so much time on my channel. But anyway, that's just an example, and one of those things that will happen in the live chat room, I'm sure, over the coming weeks and months and years, depending on how this goes with the subscriber count. It's going to be unavoidable, but it's probably a good sign, because the videos are getting attention and people are tuning into them even when they don't like them, and then they're commenting on them when they don't like them, which I've never understood that. But anyway, thank you everyone for your support here on the live streams and on the analysis videos in general, and for being so nice and friendly, and for sticking together in the live chat room as well, because unfortunately there are some people in this world who have nothing better to do, but fortunately there are fewer of them than there are of us that just want to have a good time and talk about music and interact and do everything that music is all about, because that's an art. Just being able to conversate, is that even a word? That is a word that I've heard on Judge Judy, and you must know this over in the USA, but somebody said conversate and Judge Judy said, what are you talking about? So I thought I'd just throw it in there as a word that apparently, I think she said it is in the dictionary, or maybe Bird said that it was in the dictionary, conversate. But anyway, if it is, I am correct, and we will just continue as if nothing happened. Anyway, so getting back into the super chat window, again, I'm just babbling on about nothing here. We have had a little bit more action, and the message is from Lisa, who has said a happy birthday, Lisa. It is a $5 donation, and the message is, thanks for the birthday wishes, Phil and Wingers. You're all invited over for cake. So everyone's going around to Lisa's later on for some cake, which will be very good. And Ryan has donated $5. Thank you for that, Ryan. The message is, back to string gauges. Billy Gibbons recently released his own 7 strings. Too light for me, but great fun to play around with. Billy likes some light. So thank you for that information. I didn't even know that they went down as far as 7s, and it must have, just been a recent thing, as Ryan says, because that would be good if you do play electric guitar to get 7s on there, because that would be even lighter on your fingers. So thank you for that, Ryan. And Lynn has donated $20. Thank you for that again, Lynn. The message is, cheers for our grand wrench wielding moderators. So a massive thank you to all of you moderators and Lynn for shining a light on them with that donation. And Orlando has donated $5 again. Thank you for that. The message is, you are more Gandhi, to quote Taylor Swift. Haters gonna hate. So thank you for that, Orlando. And Ken has donated $5 as well. The message is, Phil, have you thought about bringing out hoodies with Wings of Pegasus logo with some rock horns? So with this, the problem with the hoodies is that the one that I think people want is like this, with a zip down the front. But on Teespring, the design for that is really complicated. There's 5 or 6 or 7 different patches that you have to design, and you have to get all the right pixels, which means that I'd have to go away and re-edit my logo in order to fit it on to the, I'm just trying to think, onto the hoodie. But I think there is a whole nother section you have to go down. So you have to apply for the hoodie first and individually send through all of the correct dimensions of your logo and the pixels and all that. So I started doing it, and it took so long that I hadn't even got to uploading an image yet, because the editing of the logo is taking so long. So it is something that I can do, a hoodie that's for more mass-produced things over on Teespring. You can just do a hoodie that doesn't have a zip. It's when the zip gets involved that it gets complicated. So it is something that I could upload the same logo that I've got with the correct dimensions. It's fine for something that doesn't have a zip on it, but for some reason it all changes when you have a zip. So it is something that I can do, but I think people want the zip version, and I just haven't got time to get into that, unfortunately, because it would probably be a multiple day venture of doing that, which means that I wouldn't be able to do analysis videos and maybe would miss out on a live stream or something, and I don't want to do that. Maybe if you guys are happy with a hoodie that doesn't have a zip, then I can do that, but we will see. I just need a little bit more time, or maybe to get somebody else to do that for me, someone who is just better at doing the designing or has the free time in order to design those and sort it out with Teespring. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Ken. And Kevin has donated again, $2. Thank you for that, Kevin. The message is for some troll away spray. Cheers, with some rock horns. So I'm going to have to get a big supply of that for the future, just in case we need it, and I'll spray my screen and hopefully they'll go away. But we will see. I think with these live streams in the live chat room, the moderators are so good. Massive thank you to you guys for just keeping everything organized in there. So we are going to be getting into the final video of the night, and this is going to be my lyric video of Greed, and this was requested by Deborah, so thank you for that, Deborah, and thank you everybody over on Patreon for requesting these videos so that I do have something to play in these live streams. So we're going to be jumping into this. As always, I'm going to be in the live chat room, and it looks like we have made it past 200 likes, so thank you everybody for hitting that thumbs up. You can still hit that thumbs up now if you haven't already. It would be massively appreciated. And if you're watching this in the future and it's not live, you can still hit that thumbs up. It really does help with everything on the channel, but with these live streams also to get out there a little bit more. So we're going to be getting into this last video of the night. It's my song called Greed, the lyric version of it for Deborah over on Patreon as it was requested, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock.
Now the fire's burning low. Seems the bottle is my only friend. To think that I was once on top of the world, knowing who I was and what I become. This is how the story goes. When you fly too close to the sun, you will see, you will get shot down, crucified by your greed. Burning desire. The path to the top was paved by everyone I walked all over. I realize now how I fell off the world, knowing who I was and what I become. This is how the story goes. When you fly too close to the sun, you will see, you will get shot down, crucified by your greed. Now all I own is me, no fancy cars, no company. I burned my bridges long ago. I lost the woman I love the most. The pound signs blinded my eyes. Girl, do you remember me?
have it. That was my song called Greed, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was requested over on Patreon by Deborah. So we are going to be calling things to a close pretty soon, but just before we do, let's get the super chat window up on screen because we have had a little bit more action in there as well. So let me scroll up because there has been a few, so thank you so much for that. Carla has donated $1.99. Thank you, Carla. And the message is, what about them using a stencil? And this has got to be with the hoodies. I'm not sure how that will work. Obviously, I'm not somebody who has done that before, but I guess you could buy a blank hoodie and then use the stencil with some spray paint, or maybe there's other stuff you could put on material that then makes it stick there and stay there. I'm not sure, but it could be possible to do that. So Carla, you probably know a lot more about what can be done with the stencils than me, so maybe that is something that if people want to get a stencil, then just contact Carla and she'll be able to sort you out, because that is what she has done. So thank you as well for sorting that out. So moving forward into this super chat window, we have had another donation from Lucy, so thank you for that. And the message is, and it's $9.99, thank you for that. The message is for the Pull Over Hoodies Fund with a thumbs up to the Troll Patrol and the fellow wingers and Phil. Y'all rock, with some rock horns, heart and peace. So thank you for that, Lucy. And it looks like maybe with these hoodies we can do something in the future. I think you can just start to design them and get them up on the site. It takes 24 hours around that kind of time to then appear on YouTube or to be able to purchase them. So I'll maybe try and design something soon. Where are we? Tuesday. I'll see if I can do it before Saturday to at least have an idea as to where the logo will be and how it will look. It won't have the zip at the front, but maybe on Saturday it will be something that's in the works. But we will see. Thank you, Lucy, so much for that. And J Mike has donated $9.99. Thank you for that, Jay. And the message is thank you, with a guy just bowing, doing a praying motion. So thank you for that, J Mike. And I think I might have seen the conversation in the live chat room that was going on during that last video about donations and all that kind of stuff. And it is possible to donate on the live chat room and also on PayPal. I think the address is paypal.me/Wings of Pegasus if you want to do it directly there. But like I said, you can do it in the live chat room as well. So thank you for that, Jay, or Mike. It might be Mike J and it's reversed around the other way. But thank you for that donation. And Ray has donated again, another $50. Thank you so much for that, Ray. The message is there a lyric video of Hero by Wings of Pegasus? P.S. Dear one, please know we all love you and appreciate what you do. £signs don't blind you eyes. So thank you for that, Ray. And for the quote of the lyrical content from Greed. But also there is a lyric video of Hero as well, which I do sometimes play. It might have not been on in a while, so maybe that's something we can do in the future. But also another thing is that over on Patreon I mentioned about having the lessons there, and Ray mentioned about the lessons over there as well, the guitar lessons. And there are other videos that are on Patreon that aren't on YouTube, or they're not public on YouTube. And I think there are a few songs, maybe the Hero video is public, I'm not sure, I'll have to check. But certainly there are some live performance videos, for example, that are only on Patreon. So that is something that when some people are looking for a particular performance and they can't find it, it's on Patreon, and that's where you need to go to get the link in order to watch it, because having some extra little bonuses on Patreon I think is a good thing, so that people, when they do pledge at any level, they'll get something for that pledge, something that's a little bit different and not available for everybody. So that is sometimes the case, that a video you might have seen on Patreon isn't public on YouTube. And I think as things progress, gradually I will release all of the videos on YouTube, but I just tend to stagger them, or whenever I have a problem, then as you guys know, I then release a video that hasn't been released yet, whether it be an original lyric video or another video that I might have done, on Patreon that isn't public yet on YouTube. But anyway, thank you, Ray, so much for that donation. And Ken has donated $2 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, I will buy a pullover hoodie. So thank you, Ken. I will make some time before the weekend and try and sort something out along these lines. So Rob has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Rob. And it looks like it is just a straight up donation, so thank you for that. Right, I'm going to be calling this live stream to a halt. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight and for hitting that thumbs up button, because we managed to get over that 200 like threshold that we always aim for. This is the time when I say thank you to everybody in the live chat room for joining me, and to the moderators as well for doing such a great job, because you guys keep everything so organized, and I saw some live chat room action with some moderating going on live, so thank you guys for doing that. And we've just had another donation. The message is from Jen, and the donation is $5. Thank you for that, Jen. The message is, you said you were working on your falsetto, listening to anyone in particular while working on that, with an inquisitive face. And not really. I think with my voice, because I've never been able to do it in almost 4 decades of never being able to do falsetto, it's something that my whole brain and voice box and body is trying to work out, and it's a totally new part of the voice. So it is literally starting from scratch, trying to build up note by note by note, being able to access this different register that I've never had access to before. So it's something that is going to take a lot of practice. I'm not necessarily watching anybody else, because I think with my voice, it's something that I've had to work out for myself. And I think with instructional videos and teachers on YouTube who are vocal teachers, they always just do the sound, and they don't really explain how an individual can access that sound with their voice, because everybody is an individual and everybody's voices are different. Their vocal cords might need a different stimulus from the brain in order to get the same sound that the person's making. So it is something that I have struggled with in the past, when vocal teachers, and especially very well-known ones on the internet, vocal tutors, just make the sounds, but they assume that you can make that sound. But doing falsetto, I've never been able to do it. And when they just say, and simply do this, and then they'll do falsetto, it's like, well, how do I do that? My voice doesn't work that way. So it's great that I'm able to access it now. It's massively far away from actually using it artistically. I don't think I probably would ever use it anyway artistically, because it is a total break off and more of a yodel sound than connecting my chest voice with my head voice. But it is fun just to mess around with it. But there's no particular artist that I've been listening to with regard to falsetto. But anyway, Jen, thank you so much for that. And right at the end, fashionably late, we have Paula in the house as well, who has donated $2. Thank you for that, Paula. And the message is, hey you, with a guy turning around saying hello, and it looks like he's got on sunglasses as well. So thank you for that, Paula, and just made it in at the end of the live stream. Thank you for that. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight in the live chat room. Thank you, moderators, again, and everybody at the bottom of the screen, my patrons that make this all possible here on YouTube, and everybody in the super chat window tonight as well for your donations, and just for everybody's support across the board, because it makes such a difference being able to just interact with you guys live on a Tuesday and a Saturday, and does help me to keep a bit of sanity when dealing with other comments that aren't really as constructive or nice to have to read through. But I know that on the whole, the 131,000 subscribers that are on this channel are such a good bunch. So thank you everybody for your support. It is massively appreciated, and I will keep on doing these videos, the analysis videos and cover videos in the future. Hopefully I'm going to have more time to get into that as well and start doing more of those. but as long as you guys want to see these videos, then I will keep on doing them. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We will be calling it a night now, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this is going to be a smooth exit and isn't going to cut off like last time. So I'm going to end this quickly before I've just put the kiss of death on the live stream and before we cut out. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And just before we do, Jen has just donated $5, and the message is, ever listen to Ambrosia David Pack? And no, I haven't yet. So that's something that I can look at in the future. But thank you, Jen, for that donation and that question, and maybe possibly something that I can put on the list for a future analysis video. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you live on Saturday at the same time. And if I don't see you guys then, I'll see you in the comment section of the analysis videos, which come out every night, apart from the live stream nights, obviously, because I'm live streaming. But I'll see you guys in the comment section or live on Saturday. Have a great week. Stay safe and just keep isolated if you can. And hopefully everything will be rosy in the future and things will improve. Fortunately here, fingers crossed, in the UK, it seems to be getting better. So just take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the analysis comment section. Another donation as well. Danette has donated $4.99, saying Orlando donated earlier. I'm just going to scroll up because I want to make sure that before I go, I have addressed all of the donations, because Orlando said that he will buy a Wings of Pegasus pullover hoodie. I have a bunch of pullover hoodies. So thank you for that, Orlando. If I didn't read through that initially, I apologize. And there's a $5 donation. I just scroll up a little bit as well because Orlando said about Gandhi. So thank you for that. And also thank you to Danette for drawing my attention to that if I missed it the first time round. So I will catch you guys live on Saturday or in the comment section of the analysis videos. I'll catch up with you guys then. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys later. Rock.